This video will give you an impression of what the UNEP-hosted Lifecycle Initiative and the community around it has achieved in the last 20 years, from the perspective of governments, businesses, and scientists in this community. It also conveys the future vision of the initiative in how life cycle approaches can speed up the transition towards sustainable consumption and production. All of you are needed for this transition, so please stay tuned.
We had a dream with my colleague Hilja Soto de Hes from Leiden University. We had the vision that bringing the best scientists worldwide would improve life cycle impact assessment method and eventually product. So we sent an email to UNEP as an external partner. And within 2 weeks, we were in Paris meeting with Jacqueline Alroisi de la Darrel. And that was the start of the Life Cycle Initiative. Since then, there are so many young scientists' energy, and also some of the best scientists of different fields brought their energy together to develop what we are arriving next year, in fact, to a consensus life cycle impact assessment method, which will be able to all practitioners worldwide and improve the practice. And also quite a bit has been achieved in providing life cycle inventory methods and data and a central repository, which is extremely useful worldwide.
Based on 30 years of working in the field of developing and applying life cycle information, success to me is when life cycle thinking LCA results are used regularly throughout the business decision-making to create both positive sustainability impacts and positive business value. Obviously, this can only be achieved by a collaborative effort among all the stakeholders along the value chain, all driven towards ensuring circularity, climate reduction as core to decision-making processes, and ensuring unintended consequences are not created due to those positive actions.
A future-proof product or business, for me, is definitely one that has to be sustainable and with a life cycle approach. It must aim for the lowest environmental and social footprint, and I know the Life Cycle Initiative can provide the metrics, the data, the science to help businesses reach consumers, to educate, and to all together reach the sustainable development that we want. It's not a future, it's in 5 years, in 10 years, and we must all do something for that.
Thailand launched a new business model. It's called BCGs. They come from bio-circular and green economies. We try to use more resource as efficient as possible. And the idea of life cycle thinking is important for us. We try to reproduce, we try to circulate, and we try to make it more values. The whole idea of life cycle initiative that run the project for the last decade is very useful for us. We use a lot of studies from the initiative and to use the result compared to our own context. And we make a lot of regulations and modify some law according to new information or studies. Also, we have around 100 people who work in this field, from GLAD, from the debate to climate, to methodology, and as well as social LCA. Every tools that we see from the Life Cycle website, it's relevant to us, and we modify and compare to be appropriate for our national context.
In 20 years, the Life Cycle Initiative has achieved notably enlarging the community from a few hundreds of participants, of practitioners, to thousands, more than 10,000 perhaps, and with a number of life cycle networks around the globe, in countries and regions that help outreaching the work and expanding the dissemination of the Life Cycle Initiative's activities, but also the scientific aspects, notably the social LCA work, starting with an experience in 2009 that was very well received by the community, which improved it through applications and methodological developments. And in 2020, it was revised. These guidelines now are the state of the art for applying social LCA.
So it's great to be celebrating the Life Cycle Initiative for the past 20 years, where we've achieved consensus on the kind of methods to be used for identifying hotspots, for the database that now exists. And now is an important time, a transition for the Life Cycle Initiative. How do we move now forward from the foundational work which we set to really leapfrogging and integrating the life cycle thinking throughout what we're doing? We're already seeing some of this in the plastics initiative, where member states agreed to negotiate a global plastics agreement. And the life cycle initiative's hotspot analysis, its whole method for working, will be very important in that. As we go forward, we will need to ensure that life cycle thinking moves into the transport field, where issues like lithium and the other minerals needed in electric vehicles. And we'll need to see that life cycle thinking leapfrog and get integrated into the buildings and construction sector, the textile sector, the electronics sector, just to name a few. So looking forward to a very exciting next few years as life cycle thinking becomes mainstream in the way we do business across multiple sectors.